Alright, hi everybody, it's Ballcard 922. This is going to be 7 Deadly Sins, chapter 45. I should mention, I took a look at the Comic-Con list of guests. Okay, I'm going to announce this, the people that are going to be there, that you got like people from Game of Thrones. Yeah. And somebody else, which I'm not going to mention yet. I'll probably mention it later on in the week. Probably like in October, or right before the thing starts, I'll like go by the list of what's going to be there and shit, the guests. But anyway, that's not what this is about. 7 Deadly Sins, chapter 45. Okay, this chapter was like a major curveball, in my opinion. Because really, the way you look at this chapter, it was two things. It was King, oh my god, King and Helbram. That was pretty ridiculous. We actually get to see Helbram's face, and I have to say, yo, this guy's really evil. Just by looking at him, I could tell, wow, this guy's got the villain look down packed. So, yeah, it was just pretty crazy. You had that part. And then you had the thing with Veronica and Elizabeth. It's official, people. Geera and Jericho and Hendricksen and any holy knight that is involved with Hendricksen are scum. It's as simple as that. Any holy knight that is involved with Hendricksen and is helping Hendricksen is a son of a bitch. That is the way I look at it. They're evil, they're scum, they deserve the worst deaths. That's what I see. Okay, let's get into this. Now, in the beginning part, we got a color page, we got, you know, long time no see, Harlequin, that's what he calls King. What you go by now, right? King is what you go by now. And he says, what's wrong? You look puzzled. Let's have some fun. The main event of the festival is just getting started. And pretty much what happens is, while Helbram is busy with King, he tells Geera and Jericho to go, tell those two girls to go after the target. Now, truth be told, I didn't know what the target was. No, I didn't know who they were after. I thought they were after, you know, the 7 Deadly Sins. You know? They wanted to kill them. But no, that's not what it was. I might as well say it. They're after Elizabeth. And it's just so ridiculous. But let's not, before we get into that, we gotta talk about this fight between King and Helbram. Yo, Helbram is a badass motherfucker. He is really badass. He is, Jesus, this guy. And he's like saying to King, you know, why you look so nervous? And King calls him a coward and asking him, how are you alive? And saying, no, that's just the past. And he's stating, you know, do you really think you can hold me back yourself? How prideful. I thought your sin was sloth. And by the way, his sacred treasure, it's not destroyed. Which I kind of had a feeling, but wasn't too sure. But yeah, it's not destroyed. He still has it. He's pointing it right at Helbram. And he's saying, don't estimate my sacred treasure. And he's saying, of course I wouldn't. It's spirit, spear forged from the sacred tree. Split it in two and it'll regenerate in no time. But so what? He bashes King down. He just shot King. I was like, this fight was crazy. He even grabs. Helbram grabs his spear, King's spear, and headbutts him. I was like, oh my god. This is what I was kind of waiting for in this manga of Seven Deadly Sins. Someone like Helbram. Because, God, this guy is a badass villain. Like, seriously. So, we have that. He headbutts him. He's falling down all over the place. And he's like saying, oh, you're out of breath already, your highness. Your stamina is below human level, unlike your powers. He's basically, Helbram is calling him out. Bad-mouthing him. Saying your fight in the tournament was pathetic. It made me cry. It made me want to cry. And the king is saying, you think my powers aren't working. He's throwing parts of the spear at him. Doesn't do anything. Helbram goes for a slice of his sword on him. And at the same time, King hits him with one parts of his spear. And that actually does is it knocks off Helbram's helmet. And we get to see what Helbram looks like. Now, at first, I thought, oh, man, he's probably grotesque and stuff. No, he's not. Not grotesque at all. He's actually, and we see, oops, and it's falling all over the place. And then Helbram's like saying, oh, you have some fight in you after all. Now that's the Fairy King Harlequin. And we see him, and he's got a, oh man. He's got a goatee. Yo, mustache, goatee with a point. I'm like, all right, this is good. I like it. Because I personally think that's awesome. Hey, goatees are evil. Yeah. Why do you think I got this like this? And I try to, goatees are the sign of the evildoers. Yeah, it is. And he's got a goatee. He's got blonde hair, probably. And he's got an eye patch. So obviously he must have, that injury he occurred while he was fighting King at some point. And he just enjoyed the festival some more. Old friend. Now, we go back to Lady Veronica and Bon. Bon doesn't do it, but unfortunately Bon didn't do anything. But Bon's basically saying, a guy's there, and he says, Lady Veronica. He says, he's just telling him. Bon's just telling him, release the girl and the pig from the sphere and bring back the captain, and nothing will happen to your princess. Pretty much that's what Bon says. And he says, we'll give it back. And he's saying, oh, come on, you don't have to bite me like that. It was funny. Was the pig. He was like saying, don't, woman hostage and stuff. And he's like, well done, Bon. It was funny. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't bring out anything because the next page, Jericho shows up, cuts him, and he's down on the ground. And to Lady Veronica. And we see that and he's like saying, oh, you're in the nick of time. And you think, oh, wow, they're on the same side, and things are going to go well for them. And the guy who's with Veronica is named Greer. And geera is there, and she's asking, are the two princes on hurt? And fortunately, no. And she says, very good. Hank tries to get involved, the pig, and he gets attacked, blown up with his explosions. And that's when they go towards Elizabeth, and she looks away from them. And geera says, our objective is complete, with an evil grin. And I'm like, okay, this bitch is done. geera's done. She's gone too far. And evil grin, and Veronica tells him to release his power. He does. She falls, Elizabeth. And then geera's pointing out her hand. Please take my hand. Here, Lady Elizabeth, please take my hand. And Veronica says, hold on. Thanks for the help. I'll take Ellie back. Your Hendricksen objective was to capture Milados and the sword, wasn't it? And then she says that her duty for the future of the kingdom, therefore, is the protection of the princess as a given. We will be taking Lady Elizabeth to the kingdom. And, you know, Veronica's saying to her, I have Grimoire, we'll be fine. Hank gets involved again, he gets attacked again, and Veronica's like saying, you went too far, that's just a little pig. And she says this, and this is when I can honestly say, light bulbs go up, Geera is a bitch, Geera is with Hendricksen, Geera, Jericho, listen, they don't give a flying about the princesses. They don't care. They are evil, they are scum, and this chapter pretty much proved who the villains of this manga are. Yeah, it's not 7 Deadly Sins. Nope. It's the Holy Knights. Yeah. At least these Holy Knights. Because these are the ones that are following Hendricksen's orders, and this is what he ordered them to do. And she's basically saying this, the royal family is a thing of the past, a princess is a name only, has no authority or power, hand your sister over. And she says, how dare you, or else. And then they get encased in Grimoire's sphere. And he's saying, well, and someone's to Lady Veronica. And then, I think it's Grimoire says this. He says that, you know, I don't know what Hendricksen's up to, but you'll be court-martialed. And Veronica's saying they showed their true colors, so on and so forth. And they try to get out. Geera tries to do the explosions, doesn't work at all. And they can't break the wall. And Elizabeth runs away with Melodas's sword. And Veronica says, I'm going to protect you. I can't believe you, Veronica. They say a few words. Geera saying, shall we lend a hand in catching the princess? He says, no, just leave it to your fate. Grimoire says, and this is what Geera says. And this pretty much says it all. That's unfortunate. You see, our orders were to retrieve the princess. Dead or alive? I stare at that and I say, okay, so what are you going to do? You're going to kill the princess and you're going to take their dead corpse to the capital? Yeah, I'm going to have to say no. You need to die very quickly. Yeah, Geera, you're going to have to die. Yeah. How about this? How about I get a dragon and I put blood all over your face and it eats you? So that's what pretty much proved in this chapter. That these two are obviously with Hendricksen, and Hendricksen doesn't give a fuck. They're running, Elizabeth and Veronica. There's an explosion. Veronica jumps right in front of Elizabeth so she doesn't get caught in the explosion. Big explosion. Lady Veronica, Elizabeth. Basically, Geera put in killer mine, which is a mine that she puts in there that surrounds the area, and it was made a great decision to put it down preemptively. Then we see the next scene. Veronica's legs are probably non-usable anymore. And it says, Veronica's sister, and it says on the side, I will protect my sister with my life. Her love for her younger sister leads to the worst possible outcome. Next chapter, 46, because we're sisters. This is pretty clear, people. Hendricksen doesn't give a flying fuck about the princesses. He does. And him and his goons, I'm talking Helbram, I'm talking the one that was funny, Diane, I'm talking Geera and Jericho. They are scum. They are evil warmongers. Evil warmongers. And they deserve to have their heads cut off and have their bodies dipped in shit. Because that's what they are. Shit. But this is just... the thing that gets me, dead or alive. I'm like, what are you going to do? You're going to kill the princesses, Veronica and Elizabeth, and just drag their dead corpse to the capital? But I think what was meant in that regard, dead or alive, was because Elizabeth is a fugitive. At least I think so. I mean, I'm not 100% sure on it. But now, next week's chapter, obviously, it says, because we're sisters. So, we might get a flashback, but I'm not 100% sure. We have to wait and see, though. I mean, give or take. But I have a feeling a flashback is in order. I think we might get a flashback next week. Because we're sisters. So we might get a flashback of when Elizabeth was younger, and Veronica was younger, and so on and so forth. Now, here's the thing, though. Doesn't really matter. Veronica's, geera and Jericho are still trapped in that sphere by that guy. You know, and King's still fighting Helbram, so it's not like it's not like they're gonna get out of that thing, so to speak. So, but I think the whole thing is that the problem is that area is like a minefield, kind of, so that might become a problem. And this is just, this was like a what the fuck, man. I was like, damn. They just don't give. They don't care. Dead or alive. You know, geera, how would you like it if I killed your brother? Yeah, how about you like that? I stick a knife in his head and show you his decapitated head. Hey, bitch. You got problems? Jericho's got problems? Why don't you go shove your head up that troll demon's ass? Maybe you can solve the problem with it, right? But overall, this gets a 5 out of 5. A big what the for this one. I have no... Well, like I said, flashback. Probably get someone coming in, hopefully, to stop this. This is just crazy now. I mean, it's just insane. But we'll see. Because we're sisters. This is going to be like a sister kind of thing. Sisterly love going on. And we'll see what happens. But good chapter, people. Geera. Oh my god. This girl's a bitch. She needs to die. I'm not joking around. They need to die. They need to die. They need to die. And Hendricksen needs to die too. He's the king. I really don't give a shit. He's a scumbag. He's willing to kill the princesses? Then you need to shove your head up a demon's ass, too. Because you got demon ass breath. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So yeah, it's Bonkai Nights right too. See you guys later. But I will say this. Goatees are meant to be evil. Goatees are evil, people. Go with the goatee. Because Helbram went with a goatee, and you saw what he's doing. So yeah, go with the goatee. Bonkai Nights with 2. See you guys later. Peace out.